Cast.
The brotherhood, playing for the guy next to you, playing for the team.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Tradition of Ohio State, we take that serious.
These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State.
Buckeye Cast.
The people of Ohio, we work every day to make them proud.
Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Buckeye Cast.
Buckeye Cast.
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
I'm proud to be part of this group. Go Bucks!
What is up? We are back. Thank you for joining us, Buckeye Nation. I got Shawn up in frigid Detroit.
Frigid Detroit.
Yeah.
Frigid.
Got nice little powder layer laid on your city.
We do. This ain't the Bolivian marching powder. This is the bad stuff.
You'd be cool if it was.
Hey, word.
Yeah. So as always, folks, please hit thebuckeyecast.com, subscribe. Like I said, rate, review. We don't get a lot of reviews, so if you want to slap a 5-star on us, it really is no money out of your pocket, or no sweat off your sack. So do us a fucking solid.
Oh shit, you tight ass, throw them a fucking rating.
It's a simple click. Anyway,
click, boom.
Yeah, hit the supply store. We do have the long sleeve tees, which Shawn is in desperate need of, I think.
Desperate, man.
Yeah. And as always, we do have the promo code still running. The BOGO code is still in effect, and it's a true BOGO. It's not these shitty little like Target BOGOs where you buy one and you get only 50% off the second one. No. This is you get one legit free when you buy one. So enjoy that. We just came out on, was it Sunday, with the free Chase Young t-shirts. Please take advantage of those. Who knows how long.
They're not free Chase Young t-shirts,
no.
People. It's free Chase Young.
They're free if you use the promo code and buy another shirt.
True that.
Yes. Who knows how long he's going to be out of commission. We can speculate all night long. We are going to get into that story first.
And we will.
We will, like we have, and we have done. And then we're going to, skim through Maryland quickly. I mean, what's there to talk about? Did anybody even watch the second half? And we'll get you geared up for this huge Rutgers game. Somewhat concerned that Ohio State is starting to schedule high school teams. That seems like a bad step in a direction you don't want to go. Then we'll talk about some Big Ten games from this past weekend and what's coming up. We got Sparty at Michigan. We got Penn State at Indiana. We got Minnesota at Iowa. These are big games that are going to tell you quite a bit, as at least who we might be playing in the Big Ten championship, and then we'll touch on the national perspective and the college football playoffs. So let's jump right into it. Like I mentioned, get yourself a free Chase Young t-shirt. So this all popped off on Friday morning, although Ohio State internally had this information since October 26th. Things that are important to know, like quick bullet points. He borrowed $3,000 from what he calls a family friend who he has known since before he enrolled at Ohio State. Like right before. Which
right.
Somewhat coincidental. We'll just say that. And so anyway, $3,000. He just borrowed it last December so that he could have his girlfriend fly out to the Rose Bowl for the game against Washington. He paid it back in April of this year, so the loan was 5 months long, maybe, if that, and paid it back, and this is before it even became light of day, obviously.
How?
I don't know. Maybe he borrowed it from his parents.
Well, if he didn't have the $3,000 to start with, how did he come up with it?
Maybe it was scholarship money. I don't know.
Did he get his tax money back?
I don't know.
Paid it in April. Maybe he did.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the keys is proving that, first of all, this person that he got the loan from was a family friend and not an agent, because those are two different things, and the NCAA needs to determine which it was or was not. So anyway, then the other thing is, the reason for the loan doesn't matter. It could have been to buy new rims for your car. It doesn't fucking matter what the reasoning is. So we need to take that out of the equation. And I'm not even sure that reason is 100% confirmed. That's just hearsay that I've seen on Twitter. So take that out of the equation. He took a $3,000 loan from somebody he calls a family friend, paid it back in less than 5 months, and it was just brought to Ohio State's attention 6 months later in October. Late October, almost the end of the month. So,
all right. Well, let me break it down for you here. So what you got here is a bunch of bullshit. So you know what? I'm going to bag on Chase Young. Chase, come on, man. You fucking know who you are coming out. You know better than this. Don't take the fucking $3,000. If you're going to take the $3,000, have nothing to fucking do with it. You put the girlfriend in touch with the guy or whatever. Let that be their transaction. You don't need to be fronting the money for nobody on nothing. It's a bad look. And you know what? If they give you 4 games, then that sucks, and I hate it because I think you're an amazing player. I think you're an amazing person, frankly, too. But, hey, you got to fucking own it. And I think you are, and you stood up, and from what I hear, you're being transparent. So I hope they reduce the thing, but if they don't, then, well, tough shit, man. But you can't do that stuff. Not at a program like Ohio State. You just can't. So right. Hoping it does also break my heart because Chase, I think, was immature a little bit last year. It was the Nick Bosa show. Just from what I've seen from this guy, the transformation that he's made as not just a dominant player because he showed those flashes last year, but as a leader. I mean, you see there the second half when he knows he's not going back in, and he's pumping up all these young guys, Jean Baptiste, and he's into the game and become an amazing leader. And I think he really grew up maybe after the time this loan happened. In the last 8 months, I think Chase Young's become a quality, a real quality guy and leader. He probably always was a quality guy.
Yeah, just more vocal.
So I hate to see it. NCAA, I'll basically respect your rule. The only thing that really chaps my ass about it is in 6 weeks, the NCAA's changing all their rules, and this shit's probably perfectly fine in 6 weeks.
Pretty much, so yeah.
That's the real bender with me. Is okay, we're going to come down like a ton of bricks on you, fucking Ohio State, Chase Young, and in 6 weeks, oh no, that's cool. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. It's well, what the fuck?
Yeah, we do have a checkered past with the NCAA, by the way, in case you didn't remember.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
We don't have a great history. Seemingly, we try and follow the rules, and they still come down on us, with a fucking sledgehammer.
Well, it's just like the Urban Meyer stuff and everything. Everything at Ohio State is, magnified by 100, and it's such a big fucking deal.
Sure. But you've got these basketball coaches in Arizona and, Kansas, that there's audio of them making arrangements for $100,000 payments to a kid, and these guys are still coaching. They're like, fuck you, come here and prove it. Bill Self and who's the other guy? Archie Miller, I think, are the coaches. These guys are big-time program coaches, and they're like, we're innocent, come here and prove it, even though there's audio of them setting up $100K payments.
Hey.
But Ohio State doesn't operate that way, and that's respectable, I guess, to a point. But at some point, you got to say, play the fucking kid. Get him out there.
It's a shame, and
push back.
I hope. I want Ohio State to push back, especially in light of everyone knows it's going to pay to play type stuff and likeness and this and that. and $3,000. You know, it's not like a booster. You know, put 50 grand in his pocket and bought his mom a new car before he signed with the Buckeyes. You know, which is the stuff that I think you have to guard against. You know, because that's corrupt. But you get in a spot like this, $3 grand. I don't think that's helping Ohio State out at all. It's basically helping out that agent. That agent's trying to grease the skids and be like, hey, I know Chase Young's going to be a stud pick.
Right.
If this guy's my guy, you know, in 4 years, you know, if I can develop this relationship with him, he trusts me.
Right.
I'm his agent. The guy makes $40 million. Boom! I just made $4 million.
And that's probably
$3,000. That's $3,000 well fucking spent.
And that relationship right there is probably what went sideways, according to the person/agent type. They probably did not get the return that they wanted, or they didn't get the answer about, you know, things moving forward in their direction as a representative for Chase, and they were jilted, and they reported it. That's the way I would see this. You know, somebody had to report this.
I don't know how, but I mean, you know, I think it's refreshing to hear that, oh, hey, Chase and his family, they're being totally transparent. Well, I mean, they are now that it got brought to light.
You don't have a choice.
You know, but yeah, but he wasn't bringing that shit forward 6 months ago. Like, oh, hey, by the way, Coach.
Right.
I tell you about this $3,000 I got.
He waited till the Sunday after the Wisconsin game. Come on. Yeah, somebody reported that to Ohio State. Probably it didn't. I don't think it went to the NCAA because Ohio State has had this info, like I said, since October 26th, which is the day after the Wisconsin game, and I think the timing is very curious. And then who leaked it, which I think is probably this person who was probably given the cold shoulder by Chase and his family, and maybe they didn't get invited to Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know. But there's been a ton of speculation, even during the game this week. If you guys listen to the audio, Gus and Joel Klatt were inferring that someone from Maryland was the snitch, and I've heard speculation that even Chase's high school coach was the snitch. If you caught any of the video, did you see after the game when all the Buckeye players surrounded Keandre Jones, and they're like,
I saw a picture. I saw a picture of it and stuff, but
yeah.
No, and I didn't really listen to much of the audio of the game.
Well, he said, "Why y'all gotta do us like that?" You know, talking about the score, 73 to 14, and they're like, "Cause y'all snitches." Somebody said that, an Ohio State player. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is not just a convenience. This is not just a speculation. There seems to be a little bit more to it. So Chase's friends.
So you know what? Fine. I ain't a snitch. I don't respect snitches, but I want my team and my program to be above board all the time. And if you violated it, then you know what? I appreciate Chase Young and stand up and say, well, give me what you give me, and I own it. Don't fight too hard, Chase, because you fucked up.
Oh no, yeah, I haven't heard any pushback from his side at all. But I'll give you the two reports I've seen, and the first one is from a dude from the Toledo Blade. He says that multiple sources have told him that a ruling should be made this week, and that he's facing a maximum suspension of 2 games. So that would be the Maryland game he already sat out for, and then the Rutgers game. Ohio State,
well,
technically he wasn't
suspended.
suspended.
Beauty.
Yeah, technically he wasn't suspended for the Maryland game. He was just held out in lieu of this, obviously. Then Kirk Herbstreit,
and not in the stadium, but like a full suspension. I mean, he wasn't in the stadium, right?
Right, but officially he was not suspended.
Right,
by rule.
But usually the NCAA will say, okay, we'll give you that one.
Yeah, time served.
As time served.
Yeah, right. Herbstreit on game day said he was talking 4 games, and then today he just came out and apparently he's been probably getting crushed by Ohio State fans on Twitter. So Herb Street kind of changing his tune a little bit. I'm not sure if it's from the pressure or what he's actually hearing, but he had basically an all caps tweet, which is weird for him. It said, despite what many uninformed folks are trying to tell you, it is not a 4-game suspension for Chase Young. It starts there based on the amount taken and paid back, but will be appealed by Ohio State this week, and the final penalty expected back this week. He says, I expect that number to drop. So, could be in line with that, 2 games. Who knows?
Well, that's a little bit. He's probably taking a bunch of heat. That's from what I've seen and read. That he made it sound like, hey, it's going to be 4 games. He's pretty sure it's going to be 4 games.
That's what he said Saturday morning.
He's a little back. He's walking that back a little bit, and just say, hey, extenuating circumstances, blah blah blah. I think he's getting a little bit butthurt over it. But hey, when you're out there, you're gonna say some shit that people don't like.
He might want to back off the reporting side of whatever his job is, being an analyst. Just be the analyst. Don't try and be a newsbreaker.
Well, I don't know. Again, sometimes I really appreciate about Herbie, sometimes not so much. But I always think, with the Buckeyes, it's always tough love. He's tough on the Buckeyes. Yeah. I give him props when due, but he's tough.
If he's accurate, I have no problem with it. But sometimes I think he goes over the top.
Yeah, I think
like he threw this 4-game suspension out.
He wants to get that street cred.
Right, and I think he has that. He's been on the fucking show for like 20 years. So
no shit.
How much more do you need? If somebody needs any street cred, it'd be fucking Desmond on that goddamn show. Honestly, that guy just spews things that don't even make sense. Of them. Oh yeah, I don't know who watches ESPN anymore. Honestly, if you watch ESPN, I don't respect you.
I haven't watched ESPN in a decade, dude.
No, I haven't seen Sports Center. Game Day, when they're in Columbus, I'll watch that. That's it. But anyways, there is one bullshit storyline that some people nationally are trying to put out there, and that is before they even knew the length of the suspension or any speculation, they're saying that Chase should just leave the team and prepare for the NFL draft. I want to call bullshit on that. That is a horseshit take, and that's just trying to get clicks. That is fucking stupid.
But let me play devil's advocate here. Say they do come up with Herbie's original claim and give him 4 games. Yeah. That basically knocks him out the rest of the season. Let's take it to the worst level and say that they don't give him credit for the game that he just set out because that was self-imposed.
I understand.
And say they give him 4 on top of that, which means you missed the Big Ten championship game. Now, if you're in the playoffs, I would still see Chase Young coming back and try and win a natty. But if for some reason you're not in the playoffs, I wouldn't see Chase Young ever playing for Ohio State again if it played out that way.
But let's live in the current situation, though. We are number 1 in the college football playoffs, and nobody's expecting him to get more than 4 games. He already sat out 1. They're going to give him credit for that. So that's realistic, So, yes, if he sat out 4 through the end of the regular season, I get that. But then he's got a Big Ten championship game, and then really the playoff games are where he's going to be most needed and going to make the most difference. And I think for somebody to leak, or not really leak, but to send out this narrative that he should just leave the team is pretty irresponsible. He's not fucking Nick Bosa, who was injured and out the entire year. I think it's horseshit, and they obviously don't know him.
Yeah, I think Chase. If Chase has a chance to compete now, if we drop the game to Penn State or Michigan or Minnesota, the Big Ten championship, if we drop the 1 game and then they drop us down to number 5 like they love to do, and didn't make it in. I don't know. Does Chase play in the Rose Bowl, or actually Rose Bowl is I think a tournament game this year,
an exhibition game.
Yeah,
yeah. That is a different story. I could see the lack of importance of a.
I mean, he's like, okay,
game.
going into this bowl game, I'm the number 1 or number 2 pick overall.
Denzel
and
Ward
I really
sat
changed
out.
my stock.
Right, Denzel Ward sat out when he was going to be a first rounder, and I have no problem with that because it's not the playoffs, you know. But as of right now, we are a heavy playoff team, at least to make it in the top 4. Forget about seeding and all that bullshit. But right now, assuming we win out, we are in, you know.
Well, of course.
So that is the reality, you know, I think we should live in. I thought that storyline.
Well, we got to win them games. There's
Sure.
3. There's going to be 3 really tough games before that.
Well, 2, 1.5. But yeah, I thought that storyline was. I just wanted to crush it. Basically, I just wanted to bang on that storyline because I thought it was horse shit.
Well, yeah, it is. But I mean,
so
Chase Young, man, hey, young kid mistakes, brother. Wish you well. Godspeed, and hopefully you're back on the field for the Buckeyes soon. Gosh, I love watching that guy play, and it's going to be our last year watching him because I don't really follow the NFL.
Yeah,
oh man, hope I get to watch him some more.
Yeah, for people like you, it's super important. But I'm kind of trending in that direction as well. I'm about to cut off my Red Zone package because I just turned on occasionally. But anyways, don't forget, folks, hit the website to get those free Chase Young shirts, and you can interpret that however you like. But let's support Chase Young. Honestly, these horseshit NCAA rules are just
fucking
things of the past. They're built to hold down these kids, and they can't have a fucking dime in their pocket. You know,
I'm gonna be so red assed when they come out and make a big time example of Chase Young and browbeat the fuck out of Ohio State, and give him a full 4 weeks or worse, and then in 5 weeks they say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna pay everybody next year." I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, he's not walking away from this with a penny in his pocket. You know, who knows? He maybe even had to pay interest on this fucking loan. But regardless, hit the website, get yourself a Chase Young shirt. I would recommend using the expedited delivery so you have it soon. And let's get into this Maryland game real quick. We all saw the bloodbath in Columbus on Saturday. 73-14. Buckeyes fucking put the pedal down and did not let up.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 700 yards of offense, Shawn.
Some people get mad that we're doing that, and it's like, come on, No, I say let's do it.
Fucking boomers.
I say let's hammer it and put up 700 yards and 70 points every week.
Right. Yeah, you are sending a message. You need to be dominant every week. We learned that, especially with this stupid ass playoff committee, that you need to dominate. And they even said it last Tuesday night. They said Ohio State has been dominant in all 3 phases in every game. So they're noticing. You scrape by a field goal, they will notice that shit.
Ugly win. It's an ugly win.
Yep, you don't want that shit. But 700
Ohio
yards.
State, because we get nitpicked.
Oh yeah.
Clemson doesn't have any ugly wins, but Ohio State, if they're within 10 points of somebody, they scrape by.
Right. 700 yards of total offense, though, Shawn. This is a nice day, I would say, and that's with the starters in for the first half only. Rashad Berry, how about him? Playing two ways. Tight end and D end.
He's like Gamble.
He is, yeah. But like harder because you got to go 100% against some big body every down. You know? Gamble's just out there running. But love to see Rashad Berry. He loved the action. You saw after the game, the player interviews. He was all smiles. Loved being in there. Coming in as a DN, you know, he loved getting back to his roots, I think. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Ohio State made a Maryland commit decommit in the middle of the game.
I did see that.
This 3-star
That's
guard,
a serious trolling.
Jordan White, I think he's actually from DeMatha, same school as Chase.
Yeah. He is. I read that.
Yeah. He fucking decommitted in the middle of the game. But
you're a 3-star. Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? Rutgers?
Yeah, well, maybe. Which touchdown made you decommit? Was it the 5th, 6th, 7th? I'd like to know. But
I don't know. I think maybe it was that sweet pass to Olave off the toe of Hallbeal.
that was a nice little ball.
Offside.
Jeez.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was like, oh my. At first, I was a little like, oh, come on, let's not do that to these guys.
Oh, fuck that.
But hey, you got to practice that. That
Right.
was. Now everyone's got to guard that sideline.
Yep. And coaches have to spend extra practice time to prepare for that play. You're putting the more you put on film, the more they have to prepare for. And I'm talking about all of our
I just
opponents.
couldn't believe how sweet that was.
Oh, he is wide ass open too. That guy on the far end just caved. He was going towards the middle of the field. He's like, I don't see a ball. What ball going over my head?
Olave. And of course it's Olave.
Of course, probably best hands on the team, and he's one of the fastest too. So he could get right up the sideline, snare that sucker right in his net.
Like a touch pass, man.
Oh yeah, and beautiful play. I have no problem with the aggressiveness of Ryan Day calling the timeouts late in the second quarter. I thought he should have used them sooner, actually, but what the hell do I know? And
yeah, no, I think. Look, hey, it's not our fault that we've got a lot better team than you. But guess what? At some point, we're going to play teams that are tough as hell, and so we need to try and mimic like real intense, tough game situations as much as we can.
Yep.
We can't help it. You suck, Maryland. We need the practice, and we're going to fucking throw everything we can at you.
Exactly. Yeah, we had 4 running backs have more than double Maryland's rushing team total. And I hope Crowley's doing all right. We haven't heard an update on his injury. Didn't look good when he went down. He kind of caved his knee in sideways. I was a little concerned about that, but they brought the cart and he actually walked off. He's like, "Fuck you, cart."
Oh, I didn't even see that. I'd stopped watching at that point.
Yeah, it was fourth quarter.
I didn't know he got carted off.
He didn't get carted. They brought the cart out, and he's like, "No, I'll walk." He went into the medical tent and then into the locker room. So we should be getting an update on Tuesday.
Of April. They don't update shit.
Wow. Not when they don't have to. But nobody asked him about it after the fucking game. Everybody was so focused on the Chase Young shit, you know. Nobody asked how Crowley's doing. But, yeah, onside kick was awesome. Oh, Run DMC got in there.
Like twice, didn't he?
Couple touchdowns got in the end zone.
He's, you know what? You're going to look at his numbers and like his average per touch, and that guy, he could never stay on the field.
Yeah.
But when he touched it, he's a playmaker. He always was.
Dude, it's not fair for him to be going up against second and third teamers.
Yeah, it's true.
Fuck. He's a starter on most teams. But, Chugs came in, chucking the ball around. How about that? He had a couple nice balls to Garrett Wilson. The one got called back on that fucking holding. That was a great play. Then he had the little fade out there in the corner of the end zone to Garrett Wilson. Man, Wilson.
He's for real.
Yeah. They gave him all the reps at Punt Returner.
You got him and Olave, and that Jamison Williams is getting he's getting some serious playing time.
Yeah.
He's still got to get a little bit stronger, I think, but his speed is world class.
Yeah.
I think he needs to fight better and high point a ball better, maybe. But and then all the guys, man, and Justin Fields coming back. Man, I don't know what's not to like. And then looking at the other guys, Ben Vick opens it up with the first touchdown of the game.
Right.
KJ Hill is just freaking money. He scores, makes a couple sweet catches throughout that game.
Did you see that route?
How close is he to getting these all-time records? I'm cheering for
He's about 12.
KJ.
I think he's about 12 or 13 away.
He's got to be within 15 catches.
Yeah. Did you see that route? Some of these play calls, some of these play calls that Ryan Day is scheming up are amazing. Just he ran like that. He ran like in motion, like he's going to orbit, kind of behind the quarterback. He stops at like the tight end and reverses field, goes back out to the edge, gets a little toss from Fields, and just beats his man to the corner for the touchdown. That's not fucking fair, man. And KJ is not a burner, but some of the play design is just jaw-dropping to me. It's just amazing.
Yeah, no, he isolates them. That was a great play. But you can only do that play if you've got the better athlete, right?
Exactly.
And he beat.
Yeah. Again, you need to consider the opponent, I guess.
Absolutely.
My guy, Master Teague, who was up under my microscope, led the team in rushing. JK came up with a paltry 90 yards. 2 touchdowns, though. Just kidding. Justin Fields had a touchdown run. But yeah, we had 8 different guys score touchdowns. Is that any good?
That's decent.
Yeah. All these receivers getting in the game. Garrett Wilson, KJ, Olave. No shortage of balls being spread around. Ruckert even got in the act, keeping the tight ends engaged.
I didn't see Mac. Was Mac hurt? Was Mac held out?
Yeah, he was out again. I imagine he'll be back for Penn State. Then on defense, dude, how many freaking dudes played on defense? I'm looking at this stat sheet. Everybody and their brother got to play. I don't think anybody was left on the bench. There are names here I've never seen before in my life. Like walk-ons got in the game, I think.
You'd love to see that.
Sure. Tyreek Smith, 2 sacks. Devon Hamilton, 2 sacks. Zach Harrison got a sack. It's just insanity on that defensive side. They came out with a point to prove, and I think they did it.
The D-line is absolutely sick. What they were able to do, Devon and Tyreek, Zach Harrison was causing some trouble in there. You can't say enough about that unit and what Coach Johnson does for them. And really the whole defense. We went up, we were up 52-0. And the first time they scored, it's because we had 3 back-to-back 15-yard penalties. Right. And then they got in for a 25-yard pass, which is 25% of their total yards. It was right. The defense is lights out, and there was a lot of second string on that field when they got that first touchdown. So our D's the best D in the country right now, and no one's going to tell me any different.
Yeah.
Even Borland looked like a beast. Come on.
Yep. That was your guy. He came out there with a little extra edge.
Yep. He showed out.
Yep. Had a sack, TFL, led the team in tackles. He was pissed off because he remembered last year, and I think the entire defense followed his lead. As a captain, I think everybody took that message from him. It's hilarious to see guys like Jerron Cage getting in there and getting a fumble recovery. Insanity. Antoine Jackson got some play.
Kayvon Pope having a day.
Yeah, 3-6 getting in there. He tried to drop that one, but he hung on to it.
And the young DBs, they got worked a little bit on a couple things. They got some things to figure out.
Definitely.
But that's all right.
Yep. That's
all right.
Again, Seven Banks is just inches away from another block punt. He has to be like the dude in the country that has the most almost blocked punts. This guy is in there. He just needs like longer fingernails.
There you go.
But Noah Potter got in the game, had a couple tackles. It was great to see.
It is. That's nice. These are the type of games that you hope that. I mean, they didn't even trot Fields back out there the whole second half, right?
No, Chugs started
second half.
Yep. Yeah, and Chugs did well. He did have the one strip sack where the tackle got beat on his blind side, but
was that big boy that got beat?
Dwan Jones, it might have been. It probably was.
Yeah, move them feet, boy.
Yeah, he's a basketball player. He should be able to do that.
I like that big motherfucker, though. Gosh, he's big.
He collapses some people down.
Yeah, man, he's a big dude.
Yeah. But yeah, Buckeyes allowed 139 yards total offense. But these 13 penalties are a big problem. And obviously that's due to the younger guys getting a lot of playing time. And Ryan Day even said after the game that he said it was embarrassing, the number of penalties. So expect that.
Yeah, but most of that was from the young guys, right? I mean, that wasn't a lot of the upperclassmen getting that stuff first half. But yeah, it's sloppy. Hey, you're Buckeyes. You guys are all top recruits. Yep. Focus, attention to detail. This is the type of shit that will keep you off the field at Ohio State.
Right. Well, yeah. At least
can't pull your shit together.
Yeah, at least things like that. At least things like that aren't costing you a game, because you're in a blowout. But it gives you things to work on. Gives you tape to show these guys to correct their game. But all in all, easy dub as we expected.
Well, for sure. I mean, and now they're not invincible and just going in and like, oh, yep, I'm still the greatest. I was the greatest in high school, and I'm still the greatest.
Right.
Now the coach is up your ass like, hey, dumb shit. This ain't how we do it here.
Right. Yeah. So Buckeyes roll, and then we got to go out to New Jersey for this high school game. I don't know what to say about this other than it's 3:30 on BTN. Rutgers is 2-7, 0-6 in the conference. That's about it. That's my breakdown.
What you take the Jersey Pike out there, the Palisades Parkway?
Yeah. Just don't step on the dead bodies. I didn't do.
It's kind of ridiculous right now with Rutgers, and you know what? Shawn had Rutgers to be a halfway decent team. I thought, okay, they could come in and be an Indiana and Purdue, right out of the gate. But they've proven that they can't. I mean, Rutgers is a mess.
They're a toilet.
Maryland's flashed and shown that, hey, we can get some decent recruits, and sometimes we can play some decent football. But Rutgers has shown no sign of that,
right,
in the Big Ten at all.
Right, and they don't have a foundation to build off of. I expect, though, all signs are pointing to Shiano being announced as their coach this week, so they'll probably wrap it into the pregame, maybe the Friday.
Oh, you think that's happening?
That's definitely happening, yeah. So probably they'll announce it Friday. They're probably saving it. Like these teams, when Ohio State comes to town, they like to announce shit. Like when we went to Nebraska, they made a big announcement of like a new team facility that they're going to build, and all this donor money. So I expect the same thing this week. Shiano, he better hope that no Ohio State reporters are in that press conference, because they're going to ask him what was wrong with the defense last year. I don't think he wants those questions.
Right. I don't think he does. I mean, we have the number 1 D in the country right now.
Yeah, with the same players.
And it's mostly the same dudes.
Like almost to a man, the same guys. So
yeah, who left? Sheffield left us.
Draymond and
Sheffield.
Nick Bosa played 4 or 5 games.
Right, Nick left, but he was leaving anyway.
Sheffield was a rotation guy. No linebackers. That's it.
Chef was starting there at the end. It was basically Akuda, Chef, and Arnett were like always on the field late.
And Wade got in there though.
But regardless, Wade's no drop off. Wade's a fucking stud.
I'd say he's an upgrade. So yeah. But anyways, so I expect Shiano to be announced as their next coach. Probably starting next season or something. But so yeah, let's get into our score predictions first, and then we'll talk about our microscopes. I'm not going to get into the details and the offense and defense of Rutgers because seemingly neither have taken the field yet this year. So Buckeyes, right now I got the spread at 51.5. It fluctuated a little bit. Started at 51 and then went to 54 quickly and then back down. Over-unders at 60.5. So that tells you what they expect out of Rutgers. Shawn, you want to stick with your original prediction?
I have my original prediction right in front of me, and I'm saying, I'm going to go ahead and stick with this one.
I would too. I
feel it's reasonable.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a few alterations to mine. The 12 is aggressive for Rutgers. I got my final was 66-12 when we made them preseason. I'm going 66-0. I'm calling for a shutout, and I'm not sure they even get past midfield. So yeah.
Yeah, and my prediction going in was 70-0. I'm staying with that.
I would too.
10 touchdowns. Yep. The kids play a lot again. I expect about the same. Dobbins to get himself, 10 to 12 carries. Teague to get 18.
Yep.
If Crowley's banged up, then let's not run him right out there. Let's let DeMario McCall get some more carries, and I think we went over it, but I don't know what we came of it. If Steele has any more time left, if Steele Chambers could
maybe
come
a
in and get
game
some
or
carries.
two. I think he played in 2 games, so
I don't know where he was on his red shirt.
He had 2 games in, so he could play 2 more. So yeah, I agree. If Crowley is banged up, you throw Steele in there and let him get a 10, 12 carries late in the game.
Yeah, because this late and what we're about to face. I don't want Teague to have 20 hard carries either. This game should be out of hand pretty soon. Even get some walk-on running backs. I think we saw a couple of those guys this last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
At least one, or
right,
maybe on the field, but not with. I don't know, but let's see some of those guys late, because I'd love to see Dobbins get 10 to 12 carries. Teague get 15 carries, and then that's it for those two.
Right, and let's have none,
because the following week they're going to need to have 18 carries and 25 carries.
Right, let's have none carries for Justin Fields. That's a good start.
I could go with that.
Yeah. So microscopes. Who do you have on your offensive microscope?
Against Rutgers, I don't have anybody on microscope. This is going to be ridiculous.
Do you
better
want
have a wide angle lens.
dig through
you
the
better have
depth
a wide
chart?
angle lens for this one. I mean, you're going to go deep. You know who's kind of emerging? Is I think if you're going to make me pick, is Ruckert. I think Ruckert's starting to be a baller, and I think he's about to start going off.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you're going to put me under somebody. I think Ruckert finds the end zone this week in Rutgers.
Ooh, it almost rhymes.
Ruckert in Rutgers. That's
Looks
my
like.
offense.
Is he from Jersey or New York? I forget. He's from that area. For real. Ruckert, he is from New York, Lindenhurst. Okay, anyway.
Lindenhurst sounds like it's close to New Jersey.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Offense, I'm going to go with Chugs. I'm going to take Chugs. I think he puts up 3 touchdowns.
Ooh.
In the second half.
I hope he gets my boy Jamison Williams one in there.
Oh, yeah. He's due. He's getting some action. I think Chugs gets 1 on the ground and 2 passing. So, that's my guy on offense. Who do you have on defense?
On defense, gosh, who should I take on this? What does
Don't
Rutgers
worry.
do well?
I'll wait.
They do nothing well. So, I took Borland last week. You know what? It's too easy to take Tyreek Smith because I know he's going to go off. But Zach Harrison, I'm looking for Zach to have a couple sacks. I think I didn't get to see the slow-mo replay, but his penalty, did they get him for a face mask on that sack or something?
That was horseshit. He didn't even mean to do it. He like sacked the guy, got up and flexed, like both of his arms, and he kind of looked down at the quarterback, but he was just excited and like turned around to all his teammates, and he was still flexing. So they called him for taunting. Because they said
what?
because he was looking down after he got up and did the flex thing. It's pretty flimsy.
That's what see, I was at a sports bar. I thought maybe, I was like, well, I couldn't see it, but they didn't show the replay. I thought maybe he got him by the face mask.
No.
Partly or something.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lame-ass taunting. I think they were just looking for things at that point. But anyway, you're going with sack?
Yeah, I'm going with sack.
All right. I think on my defensive microscope, I need to look at like a linebacker that hasn't done much lately. He's been kind of quiet. I'm thinking somebody like a Pete Werner. He hasn't done a lot lately. He hasn't had any big plays. I think I like him. I'm going to go Werner from the starters anyway.
Well, no big plays that you've noticed. He had a couple real good plays that stopped first downs in this game Saturday.
Okay.
And that thing you sent me about what Meyer said is that people don't understand how fast Pete Werner is. He's going to be a good draft pick and a good player in the league.
Oh yeah,
I agree 100%.
The draft breakdown that Herb did for the defense. Yeah, he did it early, mid, and late for everybody on defense. It's pretty awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. We can run through it quickly. We don't need to comment on it. So he said, Shawn Cornell, middle, Tyreek Smith, early, Zach Harrison, very young, but he's an early pick. He's saying that about a freshman. Devon Hamilton played his way into an early pick. Pete Werner, faster than anybody knows, early. Tuff Borland, middle. Malik Harrison, early. Shawn Wade, early. Jeff Okudah, early. Damon Arnett, early. Kind of surprising to me. And Jordan Fuller, early as well. So, that's our defense. Good night.
I know. That's insane. And again, that's why you go to play. If you start at Ohio State,
Yeah.
you go to the league.
Yeah, this defense they've assembled is just chock full of fucking studs, man. This is insane. So anyway, we need to talk about some of these other games from the past weekend quickly. First of all, the Rowboaters. What the fuck happened up there? Just weird shit happened in Minneapolis or what? Wow.
I told you, man. This Penn State's garbage and Minnesota. So now, you know what? Screw Wisconsin. I want Minnie to win out,
Right.
and face us undefeated in the Big Ten championship.
That's what we have to have. Playing Wisconsin again isn't going to do anybody any good. So, yeah, we need Minnesota to get as much respect as they can with the playoff committee. Who knows where they're going to move to. Probably not very high. They were like 17 or something last week. They'll probably go up.
I think the AP in that got them at like 7 or 8 now, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what the playoff committee thinks. I still don't think they're a tough team. I think Penn State's secondary is weak as fuck.
Yeah, but that playoff committee had Penn State as number 4.
Right. So Minnesota just beat your fucking number 4 team. What do you do with them? You know? Is Penn State completely
I think
out
they
of it?
go up there probably around 7, 8.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a beatdown.
But yeah, I'd like
that was
the problem is. Go ahead.
That was not a close game. Penn State tried to make it close at the end. That Shawn Clifford sucks, and Minnesota is not a passing team; they're a running team, and they threw all over Penn State's secondary. Man, that tells you something. Those guys are weak as fuck. Penn State's out of the college football playoff picture, once we get done with them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're James Franklin, you're saying, look, all our goals are still ahead of us.
False. They're not. You got a fucking Indiana team. They got to go to Indiana after this big loss. That's going to be a ball game. Those boys will throw it on you.
Indiana's got to knock one of these big boys off. Penn State or Michigan.
Right. Newly ranked. Indiana's been doing well for themselves. But yeah, not surprised to see Penn State go down. Was surprised that it was Minnesota that did it. I guess nobody knows what to expect from those Rowboaters. But yeah, Penn State's favored by 14 at Indiana this week. It's not a huge spread for a team that's supposed to have such a great talent gap, especially on defense.
What's the spread?
14. And it's at Indiana. That's a tough one. But Minnesota's entering their gauntlet of a schedule here. They got to go to Iowa. They are a 3-point dog right now. So they get no respect after the big win over Penn State. At least no respect from Vegas.
See, the whole season is this game at Iowa, and this is why shit's down their leg.
Yep.
They'll lose this fucking game,
right,
and then they'll play Wisconsin heads up, and they'll lose that, and then Wisconsin gets in.
Right. Yeah, we look like crap because we've just beat a 2-loss team in the Big Ten championship, no matter who it is.
Right.
Yeah, they'll do us no favors, this fucking conference.
But I'm pulling for those Minnesotans, eh?
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Peach. The big game.
I think Sparty fans are kicking themselves in the ass. They didn't go get them some of that PJ Fleck when he was over at Western Michigan.
Right.
And old D'Antonio get a little long in the tooth.
Yeah. Life comes at you fast.
Not to segue into that bullshit.
Yeah, life comes at you fast when you're a Sparty fan. They go into Sparty fans. They're going into the team up north with a 14-point spread. There's the dog, obviously. Seemingly, Michigan has gotten their offense together. Not exactly speed and space, I would call it. More of Harbaugh shoving it down people's throats. Is that what you're seeing?
That's his game. It works for him.
Good thing you brought in that new OC.
Yeah, I see that. And I was listening to Valenti today. And Sparty's done. Sparty is like done. This is their only this is their Super Bowl. Probably the last meaningful game that Mark D'Antonio coaches.
Yeah. So you're saying if
he's essentially got to go.
Yeah, he needs to get him up for this week as a last hurrah.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he tells them in the locker room.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they need to clean out the whole organization.
Yeah.
He can't even fire anybody now. What good assistant's going to want to come work for Mark D'Antonio?
Right.
You got to bring in all new blood and get a guy that's kind of, a little bit crazy because he's going to play Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State every year.
Right.
You got to get the guy that wants that challenge.
Yeah, and somebody that can recruit Ohio because Michigan doesn't have all the talent. And
no,
I think we're both talking about Luke Fickell, right? Or somebody similar.
Well, I think Fickell's. I think that PJ Fleck would have been great, high energy guy like that could. Yeah. But Fickell, yeah. I mean, why not? Yeah. But maybe that's a little bit too close to D'Antonio for them. Of course, D'Antonio took Michigan State to heights that they never even thought they'd see.
Right.
There for a few years. Michigan State was legit for a couple years.
Yep.
Which, they made it no one saw coming. He had a 3-4 year run where it's like, wow, Michigan State that's a hell of a football team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the off the field issues have kind of taken their toll on him. And he's just getting old and his brand of football I don't think works anymore.
Well, and he's starting to get pissed off, and it's like, yeah, you know what? If he has this year that's looking just awful after that Illinois loss and probably Michigan loss, and who knows? Maybe one more on top of that, they look so bad. Mm-hmm. I heard there's dissension on that team. If he comes back next year, they're going to have less players than they did now. Their cupboards are bare.
Yeah, they got no talent coming in.
They're going to be awful next year. He's going to be the old pissed off coach. Stop asking me those damn questions.
Right,
I mean, it's time to go get a new coach and start from scratch, and you give the guy a couple years to, try and get his feet under him.
And he got the dreaded words of encouragement from the AD. That's never good.
But you got a few years. It's not like you're Ohio State, and it's like, hey, you need to be good like right now.
Yeah.
Michigan State doesn't need to be great right now. They can have a real shitty year with a new coach and then get a little better and a little better. And, give him 5 years before they boot him, unless he totally sucks.
Right.
Unless he like Chris Ashes that shit.
Yeah. Well, being close to Ohio definitely helps Michigan State and Michigan. If they ever recruited Ohio, it would help them drastically. But, having Ohio right next door is great for those 3 and low 4-star guys that he's always brought in and Fickell would definitely bring in. So,
the thing is, Michigan State would have been a great job if it were open 4 years ago. But now, are you going to
Yeah.
Are you even going to pull big-time talent to there?
That's a good point. Yeah. It's almost become undesirable.
I would think.
They probably need to.
I mean, you got to get the right young coach.
They got to put money into the whole staff, not just the head coach. That's the thing. That's what OPJ got up there after this Florida State job came open. He was able to negotiate more money, like $1 million more, for his staff. Besides his upgrade.
Oh, really?
On his contract, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So look for them to upgrade their staff, which is key, and maybe their facilities. I don't know what those are like. But we got to talk about Joey Burrow. I mean,
all Big Ten facilities.
Like,
Joey B?
We buried the whole fucking conversation. We buried Joey B back here to the end of the show, and he put on a hell of a show in Tuscaloosa. When's the last time you can say you saw Alabama get beat at home? 10 years ago? I don't know. I don't remember it.
It was a long time. I called it.
Yeah.
I thought, LSU had to hang on late.
Yeah.
Or they're running out of gas or what?
Well, Alabama kind of put the pedal down and started whipping the ball around, and LSU's defense is not that great. I mean, especially their secondary. I know they got some decent guys that are big name, like that Stingley kid and Delpit, but they got some holes too. They love to put a big hit on a guy, but wrapping them up is a challenge.
Well, I don't see anybody scoring 38 on Ohio State.
Oh no. Yeah, Tua went for like 400 passing. Yeah, over 400 passing with 4 touchdowns. He was not the problem at all. Their defense got worked over by Joe Burrow. He had almost 400 passing. And then that running game they were pounding the rock really well. And throwing to the running back out of the backfield too. He made some good catches.
Well, that's where, Bama early in the season, they lost that one kid that was like All-American linebacker.
Right.
And then they lost another guy to injury. It was like a senior. So I think they're running out either two true freshmen or a true freshman and a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
So I would think they'd be a little bit weak there, just out of experience.
Yeah.
But Joey B and his numbers, was he like 30 for 39? I mean, this guy's throwing like an incredible freaking completion rate.
I'll tell you what's I think more important than his pass completions are the things he does with his feet. He gets out of plays where he could be laid out for a big sack, and he'll scamper for maybe a minimal gain or maybe a 10-yard gain, get out of bounds, maybe even take a shot. But the dude he's a baller, man. He knows what to do with the ball in his hands.
He's really amazing. Man, I can't wait to see Ohio State LSU national championship.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see that, honestly. I'd rather have Bama. Bring on Bama right now. We'd smash them.
Or Clemson. Actually, I'd like to beat Clemson and Bama in no particular order.
Yeah. It just this final score and the yardage cracks me up. 46-41, and both teams allow well over 500 yards total offense. Jesus. I think back to that like 12-9 game from a few years ago and shit.
Right. Yeah, I think both of them right now have high-powered offenses, but their defenses aren't that great, right? Neither one of them.
Yep. Exactly, and that's the whole point. If unfortunately Bama has probably the best group of receivers in the country, and you just got to get after Tua. I don't think Tua is. I don't know what percentage he is right now, but I'm not sure he could finish the season well, healthy. I'm curious to see how he feels next week.
Well, and they still got their big game with Auburn, right?
Right.
Of course, they didn't play anybody all year. Alabama, I don't know how they play in the SEC, and they always got like the easiest schedule.
Oh yeah, they're down there with Clemson on schedule weakness.
Yeah, the crossover games, they always get like fucking Kentucky and Arkansas.
Right. I got it right here, actually. Alabama's strength of schedule remaining is 54th. Ohio State's 34th.
Remaining.
I'm sorry. I think that includes up until this point. It has to be. Yeah. So their strength of schedule is 54th. They played one top 10 team. Obviously lost. Buckeyes are 34th.
So we're 34 year to date.
Yeah.
But with Penn State and Michigan in front of us, assuming they keep winning and are ranked teams,
Right.
then we got to go up.
Right. LSU's 13th. They got the 13th toughest schedule. Clemson's 71st. They keep dropping. They were in the 60s last week, I think. Still haven't played a top 10 team. They did play a top 30 team, though.
Who, Wake Forest?
Might have been. Yeah. Against top 30s, we are 3-0, LSU 4-0, Bama 1-1, Clemson 1-0. Oregon is 2-1. They got them ranked number 5 in strength of, well, not strength of schedule, but Oregon has a 30th strongest schedule.
So here we are now. College playoff rankings about to come out. We just had this game with LSU and Oklahoma. Just had the game with Penn State. So 2 of the top 4 lost this week, right?
Yep.
So you got to imagine that, maybe you make the case that now LSU's 1 and Ohio State's 2. But regardless, those 2 are staying 1 and 2. What happens with 3 and 4? Obviously, to me, Clemson gets in at that 3rd spot. And then who's 4? Is Bama 4?
Yeah, I could see them staying in it.
Did Bama just go from 3 to 4?
Probably, yeah. I mean, who else would you put there? You can't put Georgia there, can you? Oklahoma just had a scare this past weekend. Auburn has 2 losses. I wouldn't move them. Yeah.
Minnesota.
These bastards. They got the 70th strongest schedule. They are garbage. Yeah. I think we're going to see them fold up shop here over the next 3 weeks. Reality's going to
Who?
set.
Minnesota?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're in big trouble. Especially coming off this big win at home. Got to go to Iowa. That's why they're a 3-point dog. Kick in the 3 points.
That's a tough
home field advantage. That's almost a touchdown underdog.
And then who do they got? Okay, so they got Iowa. That's going to be a tough game. And who else?
They got Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm counting that as a loss for them. Who else besides Iowa is it?
Then they got who else here? They got Northwestern, then Wisconsin to finish the season.
So Northwestern's bums.
Yeah, they should win that game, but I see 2 losses, Iowa and Wisconsin. There's no way they beat Wisconsin.
I don't know. Iowa gave Wisconsin all they wanted.
Well, yeah. It's like a mirror image of each other. Those 2 teams. Boring. So, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. I imagine that Bama could stay in the top 4. Penn State's out and slide Clemson in. That seems logical.
But Bama's not going to make their championship game either.
Right. So what happens in that game is definitely going to determine LSU's fate, I think. You could easily say that they get kicked out, depending on how bad that loss is. That's the other thing with Bama is this was
What, they were to Georgia?
Yeah. The other thing with this Bama loss is it was a convincing loss, in my opinion, and it was in their house. Those are two really bad things if you're Bama. But I'm sure they'll get the benefit of the doubt because of their past. I don't know who else you could get into that top four.
So what are you going to do? Just keep Alabama at number 4 till the end of the year and then let people in championship games jump them?
Maybe.
Like Georgia. You know, what if Georgia beats LSU in the SEC championship game?
Yep. They only have one loss.
Yeah, and then that would give LSU one loss and Bama all one loss.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's Ohio State, and 3 SEC teams.
Yeah, I don't know about 3, but definitely 2. It keeps the door open for the 2 SEC teams, which we've been talking about all year is probably going to happen. That is the show, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, go hit thebuckeyecast.com, get some free Chase shirts, and support Chase Young in his fight against the NCAA, even though he's not really fighting them. We are. We can fight the NCAA. We're not in college.
That's right. That's them.
That's right. Please give us a 5-star review. I think we've earned it. If not for the quality, but quantity of our shows. And as always, we'll see you later. Have a good week, and go Bucks. Let's look forward to Penn State, I guess. I don't know.
Beat Rutgers.
Yeah, thanks. We needed encouragement. Later,
Go
folks.
Chugs.